mother of twin girls, and it was my last year of high school. And during the summer, I needed to get a job, a job. Could not work at McDonald's anymore because that just wasn't enough for what I had to do. My father worked in the construction industry for over 25 years. So he said, Serena, you want a job? You can come out to the construction site, you can work in the trailer, and have, or office positions. I said, okay, cool, I'll go. So I went, and I worked with my father at this construction site. And while we were at this site, we found out that there was a contractor given a six-figure contract to do what my father had already done. So he was working for another company as a laborer, $15, $14, $60 an hour. And they got paid about $380,000 to do what he did. And he came to me and said, Serena, you know what? If you can figure out the business, I can do the service and we can have a business. And that was it. There wasn't a whole lot more that went into it. We saw the opportunity, we had the conversation, and I'm 17 and I'm like, okay, sure, I guess that's cool. And here's the one thing though, at 14, it was always, I had two goals. And my two goals were, and you're not gonna believe this, but please believe me. And I recorded the CD in October and I say the same thing, and this did happen in January. But my two goals, 14, was I wanted to be on the cover of Black Enterprise magazine, and I wanted to make six figures by the time I turned 30. Those were my only two goals. Not an industry, just nothing else. Just those two. So in January, when this happened, needless to say, I cried and jumped up and down and flipped out and all kinds of things. But it came after a whole lot of hard work. So when my father came to me with the idea at 17, I'm game because I think I can do it already. I've already always wanted to be the boss, right? We started our office in my brother's bedroom, my brother's old bedroom at my father's house. We started with $200 in our business bank account. My brother, my father, and I used to sit around the dining room table and say, bring $50 to the meeting so we can put money in the bank. Bring $50 to the meeting so we can put money in the bank. And not thinking that $50 every week would turn into $1 million. But we had enough faith in God to know that He would honor our faithfulness. If we came every single time and bought what we had and worked hard and put our heart into it, God would honor it and it would grow into something that we wouldn't be able to handle. Sounds crazy to some, but that's what works for us. And we came and bought our pennies together. And we sat. I was very ignorant about business because I didn't have an opportunity to go to college or any of that. And we don't have a lot of entrepreneurs in our family. Only the people that sell CDs out there trunk and stuff like that. The people in your family that just sell everything. That's all we had. So they didn't count. But that's funny. Yeah, but they didn't count. So I didn't really know what to do. I got on the internet. What's a business? What's the EIN number? What's a DUNS number? What are these certifications about? Who helps people start businesses? What in the world is a business plan? I mean, the smallest things, and probably what most of you did to start your businesses, had no idea. But what I did do is I found a company in the other side of the world that was doing something similar to what I was doing. And I researched everything about their company and what they offered and how they presented themselves. And I began to use all the things that I learned at my jobs and put together marketing sheets and different things. I just used all my skills and brought them together. My lunch break, like probably many of you, was my business hours. And you never knew I didn't have an office. On my lunch break, I was making, did you receive my fax? I just sent that proposal over, like I was calling from my office. But I needed to do whatever it took in order for us to get started. This is what my office desk was. It was a fellowship hall table. The table from the basement of the church. The brown fold-up table. We found a hutch from another broken desk that somebody got rid of. We put that on top of the table. I used to play the keyboard when I was 9 years old. We had a keyboard stand and a plank of wood that made an L-shaped desk. We had 3 all-in-one printers, the printer, fax, copy, and we had 3 because each one did one function. One fax, copy, one print. almost a year and a half, maybe 2 years, we actually got faxes at someone else's house. A friend of ours who had a business had a fax machine. We only had AOL dial-up. So you can't be on the phone and receiving faxes and on the internet at the same time. So we would say, send a fax there. When we get a fax, you call us. We'll unplug it and plug in the fax machine, send us the fax, and we'll be in business. And I'm telling you this to tell you we did whatever we had to do to make it work. And absolutely nothing was going to be able to stop us. My father's truck was our first truck, and we called it a Stanford & Son truck. Y'all understand? It was brown, it had a red door, and it had a brown door. It had bread in the back. I mean, it was just all dented up and everything. And we have pictures of all this stuff. But it was what worked. We never bought what we could not afford. One of the principles that I share is what competition. And this is more about mindset than anything else. But what competition has a question mark after it. I teach people how to do what I do. And it's because I believe that I have no competition. Not because I'm all in that. But because what God has for me is for me. And what God has for you is for you. So you can never be my competition. Because I'll always have what I'm supposed to have. And that's how you have to even look at your place in this business plan competition. You're always going to have what you're supposed to have.